welcome back to Fractures of Reality. Forgive me if I sound a little congested or anything. I think I'm coming down with a cold, but yeah. In the last session, everyone killed the king. Big rip.
Well, air quotes.
You guys have also captured your father's old advisor, Fevre.
And now he's about to go through quite a bit of pain if he doesn't cooperate.
Oh boy.
And that's about where we left off. So, shall we just jump right back into it?
Let us.
So, I'd say about an hour later, he finally wakes up.
And before that, Clara checks with the others if she should undisguised in front of him, or not, to keep her origin a secret. If that makes sense.
I thought you already did.
I haven't yet.
Oh.
Korak said she asked last session, but Korak said to wait until he's conscious.
Yeah.
And now she's asking again.
Just double check, before he wakes up.
I don't think anyone cares, Clara. Just do what you want.
Okay.
Well, what are you guys doing? He's coming to consciousness.
I'm just gonna set him up against the wall of the house.
Alrighty.
Here.
Also, Birkin is there too, but I'm pretty sure he's still, air quotes, dead.
Let's see, has it been more or less than an hour?
It's been about an hour.
Okay, so he too would be coming to right about now.
Okay. Regardless, you set him against the wall.
Yeah.
Is that all you do?
When he comes to, he's going to have Galatine's tip at its throat.
He looks down to the blade, and then he looks at all of you.
So, shall we talk?
Let's be... He looks to you, and then he simply starts speaking. Let's be honest with each other. No matter what I say, even if I tell you the truth, even if I tell you the lie, you're going to kill me anyway.
We would still rather have the truth either way, dear.
So instead, I would like to make a deal. I will tell you the information you request, and in return, just give me a painless death.
Saves me having to cut off your fingers one by one.
You get the information you want. You get the information you want, and I don't have to suffer.
Very well. Start talking.
What is it you want to know?
What? Sorry, I'm still recovering from my cold. What exactly are the Drow planning? I want details. Everything they told you.
He glances to Clara, and then he just glances back to Corax. I'm sorry, but he's seen plenty of people wearing disguises. It doesn't really faze him. And he simply says, I'd imagine you already know what they want. They want to summon their god.
Okay, but I mean specifics. What exactly are they planning to do in our city?
The plan was to steal this protection stone, and then teleport the entire town down there and sacrifice them to summon the god.
And are they still would they still be on track to do that?
No, because you captured me. And you've
Well then.
sort of killed the king. Though he's looking quite alive at the moment. Feverick glances over to where Birkin is currently, peeing himself, and just says, "So yes, that plan is in the shitter, as they would put it."
It very well. Oh, and is Charlotte here?
Charlotte's in the workshop making something, but you could go and ask her about it. Or knock on the doors, ask for her.
And yeah, an idea suddenly occurs to Korax. I'll be right back. And Korax is gonna go run down to Charlotte and to Charlotte's is going to go run down to Charlotte's lab or workshop, whatever.
Aren't there traps on the way?
He's going
I've
to the
seen them.
door. The traps are inside.
Yeah.
You knock on
Yeah,
the door.
Korax knocked.
Charlotte, do you answer?
Oh, Korax, what's up?
That recording thing you made, do you have one on hand?
Every little party member technically has one. I'm not too sure.
Say
If you
again.
want
Say again.
every little party member has built inside them.
The tiny miniature things like little jets.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to need a little Jez to come with me.
Or little Korax in this case.
There is little Korax, yes.
Give me a moment.
Well, whatever. How do I turn the recorder on?
You ask them. That's all you gotta do.
All right. Bring forth little Korax.
Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. No wonder I couldn't copy and paste the token.
Yeah.
All right, little Korax. Listen to your big sis. Go have fun.
All right. Now, Fevre, I'd like you to go tell me all about your dealings with the Dark Elves, sparing no detail.
He just gives you a look and then he says, "Oh, if I wasn't bound, I'd rub my head." You do realize how long that would take, right? I've been working.
I have, and if it's hours, I have hours.
He gives a sigh and then he says, "Very well." So it all started on my birth when I was abducted by the Drow and taken to the Underdark, where I was secretly trained from a very young age for this sort of mission. I was indoctrinated into their culture and explained why this needed to happen and why their god is the best god, and then I was released and given to a family that I was then adopted to and slowly raised. I then used the family to raise up the ranks, as was their mission, and once I had attained the rank of your father's advisor, I was ordered to wait and observe until the time that they required me to strike. And he just keeps going on in greater and greater detail, and 3 hours pass, and he still hasn't even mentioned that you guys have been born.
And Korax just keeps Korax just keeps waiting, absolutely patiently, letting little Korax listen to all of it.
Charlotte, the recordings only last about an hour, don't they? at most.
Yeah, I was about to say that they don't last like an entire day worth of recording. It's like an hour at most.
So about
You
an
might have to
hour.
get the other party members.
So about 3 hours into it, you realize little Korax little Cole has been trying to get your attention, and he simply says, I'm full. I can't record anymore."
Oh.
How incriminate? Okay, how incriminate? Well, honestly, the first few words you said were incriminating enough. So, all right, we have enough.
Great. Can we put this
And-
fast out? Can we put this fast over with then?
Oh no, you misunderstand. I'm not going to kill you.
He just gives a
Yeah.
sigh.
Now the royal courts might. I'm not.
You really are quite dense, aren't you? You just deposed the king. There is no royal court left. The entire city is going to fall into anarchy and chaos the moment the festival is over. If I had to guess, the guards will try and keep things under wraps until the festival is over, and then they'll inform everyone that the king is dead, and there will be a heavy power struggle where many lives and civilians will die.
Good thing that dear Carter's family is on their way soon.
Oh, I'm
Eh, eh,
sure a
eh,
standing army from a traitor will make things that much better.
At least keep things under control for a bit until things settle. Besides, rather this happen than rather than be sacrificed to a god.
He sort of laughs at you and says, "Keep things under control." Yeah, alright, sure, keep believing that.
And
You work for this guy? She says to the druid.
Look, I was just hired to act as the old grumpy man on the throne. I have nothing to do with this. I just took the
So-
money and sat on the throne.
so. And all right, so DM.
Yep,
In the event of the king's death, who is next in line?
that would be the prince, but based on what... No, actually roll intelligence.
Okay.
Birkin just sort of begins to cry, like actual full-on
Okay,
cry.
I'm
I'm talking, Corax, 1 second. And he begins to actually full-on cry at your words, Cicada. Like, he's flat out sobbing as he says, "I just wanted to live." Now, Corax?
Right. So, okay, at that 10, I'm gonna just pop him as pop this. It's just to re-roll that. Do
Okay.
you want to use the other one, or do you just want me to? Do you want me to re-roll?
Reroll. Because you knew that, just because you knew that 16 was there.
Okay. Well, it's a 16 anyway.
Yeah, still, that's why I had you re-roll it. So,
Yeah, I get
with
you,
that
I get
16 intelligence, based on the fact that most of the court attacked you the moment Fevre said to, you get the impression the prince is probably long dead as well.
Then okay, after the prince.
That the others in the royal family, which are probably also all dead. Because you didn't see any royals in the royal court. You just saw them and that tabaxi that was there. Your father just wouldn't let... He looks to Rio and just says, "Your father just wouldn't let it go, so I had to find a scapegoat. And there was that family of elves that were trying to get this guy court-martialed because of his crimes, so I decided to use that case that was about to go on trial and sweep that also under the rug." Two birds with
Guys,
one stone.
Well, So, and then okay, can I like delete just a little bit of the recording that's in Mini Corax just to get at like a couple minutes out of him?
Charlotte?
Korax wouldn't be able to, but Charlotte would be able to.
I can mimic things.
Okay, look, or and oh, so in conclusion, okay, that's just as useful. That works just as well for me. So in conclusion, and you murdered the entire royal family in an attempt to try and cause chaos and hand the city over to the Drow. Yes.
Yes.
As well, speaking of
Well,
scapegoats.
no, actually, it was more the Drow wanted that stone, and I was put in place to obtain it when the time came.
By the
And
way, you mentioned scapegoats just now. I think
And
the
I
city
recall-
will find you a great one.
And if I recall, if I remember correctly, you mentioned something in the throne room about how you wished you had gotten rid of Korax like you did his sister.
yes.
Oh,
What
and
did you mean by that?
and the however my family was framed, I assume, and I assume you did that too.
Yes, yes, I am evil, I am ooh ha ha. We've been over this. What do you want from me?
Oh, I got what I wanted from you.
Then why are you
Cicada,
still asking
play
me questions?
I just needed it all in your words. Cicada, please play back his confession just now.
She does indeed play back the confession.
Great, you got
In
my
his-
confession. Now are we done here?
And
Oh,
I
no.
Jezebel,
we're done
Jezebel
here.
sighs,
You're gonna-
and she looks at Korax and she goes, Korax, the point of the matter is that you're saying that it doesn't really matter what you say. We have a confession, yes, but the fact of the matter is that he's not wrong. We literally just took out the leader in charge of your city. So unless someone steps up,
I know.
unfortunately, he has a point. So even if you do give this confession,
the
Korax!
confession about my
Korax!
family is the important thing.
Let Jezebel finish, please.
and we have it. So you have it, you're good. But the thing of the matter is that he does not care anymore.
Frankly, I couldn't care less what he cares about. What mattered, and you said he just said that the quote unquote traitors army wasn't any good. So now we can prove they're not traitors.
Oh.
And with that, I'm gonna tie a gag in Fevre's mouth.
He rolls his
All right
eyes.
then. So that's one thing done, dear. But now we should probably figure out what we're going to do next after your family is cleared. Who else can step up to take over leadership over your city?
And I don't know, but with the army they're returning with and their name cleared, they should at least be able to keep order.
You sound pretty confident, she says, and then glances over to Every. He, unfortunately, does not.
I am confident that the immediate problem can be solved.
Jezebel looks a little skeptical. Not to doubt your words, dear, but I have a feeling that he might know more than he probably lets on.
That is why I haven't killed him yet.
Jezebel just kind of shrugs. She goes, "All right then. Well, I guess we got so far what we needed. I, for one, am going to take a rest, and I guess we'll plan what we're going to do tomorrow."
We're going to do it at the Dragon Egg Festival.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure seems a shame that we're ruining the grand festival of a dragon hatching with some bad news, but I guess it is the best time and place since everybody's gathered.
Exactly.
Are they still really going to go through the festival after what happened at the castle? It got half buried in it got half buried and it got half tilted onto its side and buried.
Indeed, but I'm pretty sure the guards will give some reason so it continues. Besides,
That dragon egg
castle
is
or
hatching
no,
no
the
matter what.
dragon exactly is going to hatch. So whether they celebrate or not, the dragon will be leaving.
Speaking of, uh, I would like to talk to this druid over here for a moment.
Sure.
She's just trying to comfort him a little bit, trying to calm him down.
Can't you guys just let me go? I have no part of this. I was just doing my job. They hired me. I paid me money. I'm
Hey,
just an old man. I just
please
trying
calm
to
down.
survive.
Oh, you're a dwarf. Oh, you're a dwarf. You're not that old.
Listen. Calm down,
Well,
please.
while she's talking, Jezebel's gonna roll around. She goes, "Oh, I hate whiny men," and she's gonna go inside her quickly and grab something.
I'm gonna try and talk to him a little bit. So, listen, you're still technically complicit to his scheme, which means you're gonna go to trial, but I promise we're gonna make sure that the punishment is as lenient as possible.
He just cries
On
louder.
All right, I'm gonna walk back, head over to the guy. I know I have some leftover, a few dragon chocolates left, so I'm going to pull his beard, open his mouth, and then stuff the chocolate in him. Like, stop crying. Here.
He cries, but a little flops at this time now.
But I was just trying to tell the truth. I'm sorry. But has he told you how to get the stone out from the barrier?
He finishes off the chocolate and he just says, "What's done?" There's a stone
Here's
around?
Akita.
Is it, he pauses for a moment and you see greed in his eyes, but then he sort of coughs and goes, I mean, I don't know about any stone.
Jezebel stuffs another chocolate in his mouth to shut him up. And then she looks to Cicada and she goes, "Dear, there's no point in asking him. He was obviously the scapegoat, which means he was told to just look pretty and smile, and was told
Oh.
absolutely nothing about why."
Oh, okay.
Now, the one who is the actual schemer and the puppeteer is the one gagged over there.
Which means he's probably the only one who knows how to get at the stone. Her.
Perhaps, though, we have technically prevented the summoning, so the stone may not be as required as we believe it to be.
But we should
Especially
probably still
since
fetch it.
I'd say leave it, to be honest, because we already caused enough havoc as it is. She glances over to Charlotte's shop.
But the drow could still try to steal it in any number of ways.
Which is why Jezebel says, it goes, "I'm going to head back to the city and do a little bit more reconnaissance and see how things are being handled. I have some concerns about what Fevre has said. And though I'm a little tired from what we went through, I still have some energy left in me to do a little reconnaissance while you guys watch the prisoners. And perhaps get some rest too. It won't be long. I just want to see how things are currently being handled with the fact that the castle has been ruined."
Hey.
So please keep a close eye on these two. Obviously, this one is no threat. And then she just hands Cicada the other chocolate. She goes, "Put these in his mouth if he gets annoying."
Can I have one? They look delicious.
Jezebel just smiles. She goes, I don't doubt it in your case, dear, but go for it. I don't have very many, so don't be too greedy. They can be very addictive, or so I've been told.
She's going to eat one.
Also, and then she looks over to Ryu with a bit of a serious look. "I would ask him a few more questions, dear. I don't quite know what he knows, but obviously he knows something else. Not just about the family like that, but I would probably ask him a few more things. Especially on the fact that, and she gives a smile to Ryu, you have a few questions for him for your family, too, right?
It. I. Yeah. I guess I still do. Even though he told me what I probably he told me pretty much what I already knew, that my grandfather was being used as a scapegoat.
Well, I'm sure you'll think of some other things to ask him just in case. Either way, and she gives him a slap on the back. I'm counting on you. And then she's gonna head out and back towards the city to do some reconnaissance while the others watch or here at the house.
Okay. Takeda has just been constantly trying to calm Birkin down. It's like, everything's gonna be okay, man.
Just let me go, please. I'm too handsome to be in jail.
Oh Lord.
Uh, you know I can't do that.
Please,
I'm sorry.
please,
I really can't.
please.
I'm sorry.
Every time you speak, he just says please in response.
Chocolate in his mouth.
Here, have some chocolate.
He stops taking it because you're literally force feeding him chocolate at this point.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Would you like some tea?
No, I'd like to be free.
Well, I can't let you free.
Then
'Cause
there's
you're a
nothing you can offer me.
Hmm.
Alright. So, what are you guys doing?
Apparently, we're discussing loud noises or how to make them.
Charlotte, it's fairly easy for you to make a megaphone, which would probably do what he needs it to do.
That's exactly what I'm asking for, yeah.
I mean, it's just a cone, so.
Cone. Yeah, I'll give you a cone for your Korax. I gotcha.
It's not as flashy as the microphone Clara would be getting, but it do the job.
Right.
Eh.
So Clara still wants, but hasn't dropped by home yet.
Yep.
And man, I wish I knew thaumaturgy at this stage, but oh well.
Alright. You got the megaphone. What next?
And
Jezebel, you said you were heading out into the town?
Yeah. Just gonna put the hood up and look in and see the way the state of things at the moment.
Alright, roll investigation. And persuasion.
Persuasion. Okay.
Or do you just go and have a talk with your friends?
I was gonna do that first and then kind of like see the city for myself.
Alright. So you
Do
go
you
and
need any blessing?
No.
Okay.
So you go and see your friendliest friend. I believe it was Birkin's the druid. What was the name? Burton. Burton, that was it. Not Birkin,
Hey.
Burton. Oh, hello. Welcome back to our modest little setup outside the city.
Berton, I haven't seen you in a while. She gets her usual big old cheeky grin with her arms up and tries to go give him a hug. Like old times.
Cave naturally dodges it.
I missed you, she says with a grin.
Things are heating up in the city, aren't they? We might have a civil war on our hands.
Ah. She puts her hand on her hip with the tilt of her head. She goes, that's exactly what I was going to ask. Unfortunately, we caused a little bit of mischief in the city in order to prevent something. Might have been a
yes.
little eager. So I was wondering if you'd like to share the gossip for what's going on in the city.
Well, I actually have one of my informants that happened to be in the area when that all went down. They got quite a very good look at the proceedings and the chaos that you all caused.
I think I know who that is.
Now, unfortunately, this information cannot be free, simply because there's a lot of people asking about it, so we have to charge a premium.
Too surprising, she says with a bit of a shrug.
I'll let you decide what it's worth, though.
Well, since we did kind of cause it, we already know a little bit of what probably transpired so far. So depending on what information you give me, then I will pay. How about that?
He sort of tucks his head and then he says, "Oh, very well, very well. But only because we're good acquaintances."
Oh, we're not friends, kid? She says with a cheeky grin.
That remains to be seen. You have caused quite a bit of chaos, after all.
To be fair, this wasn't entirely my whole plan, but we were so desperate to prevent something that happened based off of a couple of we'll say intuitions.
Well, the situation is quite chaotic in the city. Well, for the ordinary citizen, things are going about as normal. As far as they know, there was an attack against the king, but it was thwarted, and there was some damage, but the king is safe. That is what most citizens were told, and they are still happily preparing for the festival that is on tomorrow.
Ignorance is bliss.
As for the nobles and the guards of the city, they are in quite a frenzy at the moment. Nobles that are in the know, which is most of them because they've paid quite a premium for this information. And he sort of gives a soft rub of his cheek as he looks a little smug at that. Like he's having a pretty good day. You get the impression he's made a lot of sales recently, which is why he's in
I'm
such a
getting
good
that.
mood. So, all the nobles are currently starting to bribe and blackmail guards and get their own little forces together, while the guards still loyal to the city are barricading and blocking off the royal palace so that they can maintain order in the city until a replacement can be found for the king.
She tapped her chin. She goes, some of that we kind of figured for. Question is, though, there's apparently no royal family, correct? Are there already been nominations?
Oh, there was a royal family, but they were all found dead by the guards.
Entire royal family dead. Oh, that is an issue. So he was telling the truth.
So that leaves quite a big power vacuum that the nobles intend to fill. And that's going to definitely cause a civil war in the future. The matter is of timing.
I wonder if Korax knows of anybody. She taps her chin thoughtful, and then she immediately pulls out 50 gold and tosses it to Bertrand. And then she says, do you have any names for who is basically going against who? Or who is likely to start to gain the throne? Start a war to gain the throne.
He lists you a few names of some high-ranking nobles. You know, they're people you'd know to be have quite big mercantile empires. That they're basically pretty set up in both their networks and the amount of resources they have. He then says, there's also the matter of the large army currently marching this way. While the citizenship at large isn't aware of it, they are due to arrive shortly after the festival tomorrow, and that's going to likely cause mass panic.
Dear Clarks might have already had a solution for that, if it goes as he hopes it does.
My
She says with the
my
tilt of her
advice
head.
for you, Jezebel, and this is advice because you are such a good customer, and you see the telltale smile on his face, pause, and he actually frowns at you. Leave the city. You do not want to be here when things go down.
Her eyes widen slightly at this in slight surprise. And then she gives a bit of a smile. She goes, seems you do care about me, and if you always avoid my hugs.
He goes back to smiling and then he says, I care about the good business we do with each other. And
Of course.
he flicks a coin into the air and catches it on a finger, and then it vanishes.
Neat trick, she says with a smile, and she gives a big sigh and she looks thoughtful. And she goes, well, unfortunately, I know who this army is coming. And it happens to be one of my comrades' family. Not entirely sure if leaving would be in the cards.
Well, then I'd inform those in the city who you wish to protect to leave. Because the city. And he pauses for a moment and then he says, and then he actually leans close to you and whispers. Like, it's that much of a secret that he actually whispers it to you instead of just casually talking about it in an area controlled by the Rogues Guild. The Elf City will fall.
She now frowns at this a little bit and she goes, well, since we might have avoided one thing but caused another.
He leans back and moves to sit down and goes back to working on the shoe. So yes, if there's anyone in the city that you care about in some way, form or fashion, I would give them the same advice I gave you to get out of the city.
Right. She sighs, shaking her head, and then she smiles and then pulls out 100 gold and sets it in front of him. Well, here you are. I'm pretty sure it's not as much as what the others have paid you, but I need to quickly get back to the others. I hope we'll suffice for now.
Oh, that is more than enough. And this is why you are one of my favorite customers. He takes it, and then he snaps his fingers, and you watch as the entire little camp and tent setup that's around you slowly begins to pack up, and then it all sort of whooshes into one small area, and then two wooden squares snap together, and now the entire camp is gone and is just a briefcase.
Neat trick again. You're full of tricks.
He picks
She's
it
smiling and then she goes, oh, one more thing, if I may, dear.
Yes.
She gives a bit of a serious look. She goes, if I need to pay, I will. But can you mind sending a message to my father about what's going on?
Your father, he rubs his chin and then says, I believe your I'm sorry, I can't forget it. Ryu is a cleric, right?
Yes.
I believe your cleric friend would be able to handle that.
Ah, that's true. All right,
They
then.
would be
I
able
just
to
figured you
reach
probably
them.
know.
They would be able to reach them far faster than I would, I'm afraid.
Oh, thank you for the advice, dear.
He picks up this briefcase and then he turns and starts walking away from the city.
Isabel kind of waves at him for once, not actually attempting to like try to hug him from behind as her concerns grow. She sighs again and starts to tread back to the others.
All right. Before you get back to the others, Cicada. Oh, yes. If you let me go, I promise I'll attend that trial. Yes.
Okay, look. If you promise me that you will go to court when summoned on time, and you're not lying, I will promise in turn that you will not go to jail.
On my honor as a druid, if you let me go, I will attend the trial. I promise.
Being genuine.
Having these will make you feel better.
No, don't.
Alara wants that. Wait, Charlotte, do you actually want to? Does Alara actually do that, or are you joking?
That was a joke, man. But if it becomes reality, I'm okay with this. She would do that, ideally.
All right. Well, what is she smiting with?
Oh dear.
An actual lightning bolt.
No.
A lightning
Ooh.
bolt. A lightning bolt.
I was about to suggest poison ivy.
No, she is mad at this guy.
A lightning bolt sails out of the air and hits Birkin, doing, I think it's like 20d6 damage. So let me just roll that real quick.
He has committed too many atrocities.
Alright, so 66 damage, and he'd already taken some damage. So what's his
He
HP
had.
at? Let me just
Ruro
go back
would be
to the...
so upset.
Let me
He had
just...
something like- He had something like 20-ish. He had 20-something hit points left at the end, I think.
Alright, yeah. He is now unconscious and bleeding out.
Ah,
Bad big sis.
oh no.
Unless someone
Oh.
wants to heal him, he's gonna start rolling death saves.
Korax looks over and says, and Korax is going to give him 1 point of lay on hands.
Alright. He is now conscious again, and he sort of sits up and he looks... Oh, that fucking bitch.
Oh!
Are you
Maybe
sure
you-
Can I do a? Can I throw a second one?
Alright. Let me
Maybe
roll
you
that
should-
20d6.
Yeah.
Alright,
He's still not dead.
he's once more bleeding out.
I give him another point of lay on hands.
Sorry, Clara, but yeah, that cure wounds was wasted.
Oh
Also,
my God.
don't forget you guys haven't had a long rest yet.
Yeah.
Just remember to keep track of your spell slots. He groans and he stands up. He looks to you all and then he says, "Ugh. You heard me right, Allah! You could keep knocking me down, but you're still lost. I won!"
Now, there is gonna be a bunch of plant kittens rise from the ground and attack him. The cats will
boy.
attack him.
Oh god! He
mittens.
begins wriggling in place.
It's little mittens.
It's little grass mitten.
You really need to learn to keep your mouth shut.
She started it! She threw lightning at me and nearly killed me!
I think
Take
that
the hit-
was because you were lying. And you swore as an honor of a druid.
No, I was telling the truth.
Was he?
If you had honor as a druid, you wouldn't be wearing metal armor. Those are the rules, aren't they?
He does have a
I have a
point.
special deal with nature.
Uh-huh.
Cicada, as far as you can tell, he's telling the truth.
He's lying, Cicada.
You would have to roll insight. Though I will give you advantage because he is yeah.
An awful liar.
Well,
How's
no.
this g-
As far as you can tell, he's also telling the truth. I'm serious. I will go to that court thing and trial. Just get these cats off me, please. Ah.
I said I have keys.
How in the world
Go-
how in the world was this guy ever
How
able
do
to
you want me
pose
to
as a
phrase
king?
it?
Show up for trial at your appointed dates.
Now get these cats off me.
Okay.
So, do it or Lara will do worse. She will do it.
Your trial at the appointed date.
One moment. Let me roll.
Wisdom save, yeah.
He
That's
looks
a
to
nat 20.
he looks to you, and then he stiffens and says, "Yes, I will." Then he goes back to struggling against the cats. To lick me all over with their sandpaper tongues. Oh, no one bit me, please.
So Clara's gonna roll insight just for that response because she wants to know if the geese actually took effect.
Also, he's now unconscious again because cat bites can do 1 damage, and he only had 1 HP.
Awesome.
Okay,
Okay, does anyone know
that's
Spare the
bad
Dying? Hey, Ryu, can you spare the dying him? I don't want him to wake back up.
As
He's
far as you
annoying.
can tell, he's telling the truth. Laura?
Okay.
All right, hold on. Let's see. Yes, Ryu does. In fact, Ryu just does as without even looking. He just tosses out a spare of the dying into to Birkin, and he says, "There, now we can shut him up without feeling guilty afterwards."
The thing is,
Okay.
Spare the Dying only stops him from needing to make death saves. The cats are still biting him, so they're still doing 1 damage.
Okay. I'm just trying to get the cats off of him now. I'm suing the cats.
Allah, do you get the cats off him?
Yeah, but I'm gonna leave 1 cricket on him.
Oh.
And that's all I'm gonna do.
No.
Alright,
Bad
Mike.
Nagu.
give me a second to get all these cats out of the way then.
Clara's gonna say, "Hey, Alar, we kind of need him for the trial. You can do whatever you want with him after that, but could you please let him stay alive until then?"
Herd him towards the trial in case he gets any funny ideas about running.
Yes, that too.
No response. I mean, she's not gonna respond to that.
Anyway,
But she will
Fair.
make the cats go away.
there's a single cricket on him, and Birkin is unconscious but alive.
Hey, I can understand bug speech.
Yeah?
Which means if this cricket is talking in any way, I can listen into what it's saying.
It's not. It's just sitting on him.
Okay, but
It's not a
crikey,
real
that's
cricket.
red. Oh. It's a familial cricket. Okay.
Anyway.
Yep.
Birkin is now unconscious and is no longer available for questioning. What would you guys like to do now? Also, Jezebel, you finally return.
Walk over and I see the apparent scorch marks.
What?
And I just kind of raise my eyebrow and I look at the unconscious what is he again?
Druid.
What's
Or-
Druid?
Unconscious- Yeah, raise an eyebrow at the unconscious druid and I look at him and I'm like, okay, who did it?
He
Because I
cursed
wish I
the-
was here to have
Clara
seen
points
it.
at the sky.
He called the wrath of God down upon him.
literally.
And I missed it. She kind of like stomped her foot. She goes, dang it. That would have been
Did-
nice
did
to
2
see.
strikes of lightning.
That's way more exciting than what I found out. She says she looks actually a little stressed. And she's like, that could have been a great stress reliever. She puts her hand on her hip, just sighing, shaking her head.
Well, who knows? Who knows? If you're lucky, maybe someone else will piss Alar off enough for her to do it again. Then you can get a good look at get a good idea of what it looked like.
Such as that, I would love to see that. Especially since, unfortunately, we're going to be making a tough decision here pretty soon. Even though I'm pretty sure what some of your answers are going to be. She kind of sighs and she goes, I have some slightly terrible news, as well as some advice from my sources that says that we need to get the hell out of the Elf City.
Not an option.
I knew
So
that was
that's
going to
good
be your
down.
answer.
I don't think we can trust the stone in anyone else's possession for the time being.
Plus, we can't just leave the elves unsupervised. As without a king, there's gonna be panic.
Indeed, and there already technically is. The nobles are already aware of the fact that there is no longer a king, and they are right now paying and building their own armies to try to take the throne.
So
Not only
there is
that, but they are also aware of your family coming, Corax. So they already know that an army is coming. So, in their own panic, because there is no king, they are now making their own.
What we should let them know that the army. We should let them know that the army is theirs.
Even then, dear, there's still
they'll
going
see
to
it
be
as a
a
threat.
fight.
Would-
There's still going to be a fight for power. That's going to be unmistakable and unavoidable now. There is no king. There is no royal family. They are all dead. Somebody needs to rule the city, and of course, the nobles, being as they are, believe they are the best suited. So, of course, there's going to be a fight over who exactly will lead.
What were you going to say, Corax?
In this changes nothing about my plan. And Ryu,
Yes.
do you have any East endings left?
I don't recall sending any recently. Why?
Call my mother. Tell her everything that happened, and tell her to have when she arrives. Tell her to have her troops who support her and join with the guards who are still maintaining order in the city.
If there are any, dear, she says with a bit of a stern look, a lot of the guards apparently are being bought out by the nobles.
But not all of them.
You should first find out which are actually going to be on your side before you make assumptions, dear.
I look up in the sky. What time is it?
Considering you guys went and dethroned the king, I'd say it's probably getting to about. It's just after the sun has set. There's still light out, but it's getting dark pretty quickly.
There may not be time.
I'm just saying, dear, this is a very dangerous situation. I am not fond of politics, but the fact of the matter is that I was warned by dear Bertrand that, unfortunately, we should probably leave. And in his words,
leave the population of this entire city to fall to anarchy. Not when they're and I might be able to do something about it.
Charlotte heads into the city.
I could actually pull a dream tomorrow if you want me to.
So, what are you doing in the city, Charlotte?
I'm gonna be visiting a few people while there's still time.
And warning them about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be visiting her family, priority 1, and then her soldiers.
Naturally, being that they know you and know you're not one to make jokes, they all immediately believe you and pack up their things and make for Applebead. No, Appalachia, was it?
Yeah, actually, she wants to stop him.
She wants to
Well, except
stop
for the
them
family. The family can leave. She wants to talk to the soldier.
The soldiers are basically offering to escort your family to Appalachia because it's a dangerous journey.
Okay, that's fine then. All right.
Because, I mean, they're gonna need some protection. Your family aren't exactly fighters.
No, none of them are.
So, yeah. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, that's fine. I appreciate them helping him.
Alright. They wish you the best of luck with whatever you're doing and say to contact them when you've got more news. Alright. With that done, you're off doing that. Ryu, I can see you typing. What's up?
Well, Corex did ask me to give a sending.
I see. So while you're doing that, what are the rest of you doing?
Yeah, basically the sending contained tell my mother everything that happened, tell her to come prepared to maintain order in the city.
Do you think they'll be arriving tomorrow or the day after? Because if they're arriving the day after, I can prepare a dream, and then we can give her even more information tomorrow night.
DM?
You don't know. But Jezebel does.
I don't know.
I was about to say, apparently they're going to be arriving a little after the festival.
Good. Perfect time.
Are you sure, dear? I have some doubts.
If
Depending on how long they say after, the nobles can easily start to make their own claims, and then the anarchy can easily become. She gives a sigh. She goes, "I'm sorry, dears, but I have doubts about this plan actually working."
It's and there are always doubts, Jezebel, but it's the only plan we've got, unless you've got a better one.
Leave, she says with a shrug.
Can't leave that stone to the drow to eventually get.
Plan for them to
Jezebel,
get it has apparently already been foiled.
Jesse, if you wish to leave, none of us will stop you. But I'm staying.
Jezebel sighs. She was a little conflicted. I'm only worried about everyone's safety and my sources. Bertrand says the elf city will fall.
Did he elaborate?
Well, she gives a bit of a shrug. Civil war. I'm pretty sure that's reason enough. So he knows the war is coming, dear. So even if you were to take control, there will still be those that will deny you. And I'm afraid that might lead to bloodshed.
And then all we can do is keep it to a minimum. And that means getting out ahead of all this.
He looks a little concerned and conflicted, and she just goes quiet. She doesn't really know what else to say.
GM,
Yep.
can I attempt to do something while I'm out and about?
Sure.
I left little Charlotte there, obviously. And I have been experimenting with my ability I have. Can I try to transfer my consciousness over to the Charlotte?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Roll me a wisdom save.
Yeah, I got. Day hasn't changed. I don't got no flash of genius. Okay. Wisdom. Here we go. 16.
You successfully transfer your consciousness.
Good.
I imagine it's kind of like familiars, like with familiars, like your consciousness is in.
Basically, yes.
but your main body is currently unconscious.
It's basically similar to how your dragon in Flames works.
I get you. All right. The little Charlotte walks to the group and offers a wave to them all.
Isabel just glances over, saying a wait, but just still remains quiet.
So we're going against a war, right?
You're
Well-
surprisingly understandable for such a small version.
Are you sure
Small or
that's
not.
Jezebel, dear? Charlotte, dear.
Small or not, there's some things you guys gotta understand about how war can affect. If you allow it to happen, it will only fester in disease and ridden the mind. The people that are still there, they will never be the same.
At least that I can agree with. Jezebel says as she actually just looked pretty concerned. The fact of the matter is that this is going to change a lot of things. So, obviously, I have no ties to the city, but if you look forward to Ryu and Korax, you do. So, not to say if you have anybody there now, but I would definitely either kill yourselves or get those that you still care about in the city out.
Right now, the city is under a state of mass confusion. Those living in bliss and those who know. My recommendation is to quell the fires of hatred. At least enough to where they can come to an agreement. After confusion, it would only breed in hate and anger. So, try to quell that.
So try to keep everything calm and peace and amicable.
There's ways to do it, rather than just talking peacefully or calmly. There is another way. But yes, you gotta
Yeah.
to state the anger away. And Clara, I think you're the best one who can do that.
Oh? Jezebel now looks interested.
Hmm. And how exactly could I be doing this? She says with a smile.
Your voice has a when you sing anyway, and when you want to sing that way. Your voice has a calming presence towards it. Though, I wouldn't even say it would affect on a mass scale. That alone might not be enough. So, what else can you do? How can you stop the anger?
If it's volume, I have the boombox, but I still need a microphone or something of the like.
Oh, fine, go get it.
I don't think we can get it that quickly.
No, there's
Yeah,
nothing.
And for the megaphone.
Okay. I have a small plan. It might not even work well, but it's still something better than right?
Well,
What I've
we
been
did a
working on
desperate.
what I've been working on for the past day or so right now. Well, I only use half my dynamites actually on the capital. The second half I'm using for something else completely different. Maybe we can use that for fireworks.
More
Make the event
fireworks,
even
dear.
better. Hmm? Go ahead.
Jezebel just chuckles. She goes, "More fireworks, dear. You already made quite a bang."
This is for more of a short showcase than rather terrorism. The reason why I even did that to the capital was to cause fear and probably have everyone leave the city. That didn't work. If everyone left the city, the Jaw will have no reason to take over it. That was my goal. So instead of trying to give him away from fear, we try to bring him with unity.
Festival might be just the thing to do that.
That's my idea. I'm heading back now. I'll be working on finishing up those fireworks, but that's all I can do from my end. You guys have to do the advertisement. It'll be probably after the event, when all the armies are. Whether they want to fight, then that's what their fate will be. But if they want to talk it out, maybe the fireworks will quell their anger.
Jezebel gives a huff and then she goes, I actually like Shark's plan. To be fair though, dear Korak, did you even have something of a plan besides what dear Charlotte just offered?
Bloodwood?
I'm gonna take that as a no.
And 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 I assume my well, Ryu is relaying and everything to us.
He hasn't spoken up yet. You guys have just been talking. I don't know if Ryu is done sending yet.
I am. I only have one. I only have one spell slot left.
Alright. So what do you tell everyone?
So I talked to Velith. She's not willing to come to the city herself because she's worried her army will cause a panic.
I never said
And-
that. You are
Well,
you
that's how
you
that's how
asked
Ryu
if you asked if she fair enough, Continue.
Ryu interprets things.
Okay, continue.
She's concerned about causing a panic, and she said when I asked her about what we should do, she seemed to be more she told me that there are bigger things to worry about than civil war.
Still gonna try and summon their god.
And and they may and they may still and they may a and if they find out there's and if they find out, out about the civil war, then they'll know they can still evade. They'll invade the city and capture the people.
You used the cover of a civil war to continue doing a summon. See, we didn't really prevent things after all.
We should probably still grab the stone at least.
That's not gonna. That's not gonna stop them from taking the people, though.
It can severely hinder them, though. We could actually defend the city with the stone if needed. That won't stop the conflict inside the city, but it'll keep the outsiders out.
That
I wonder. We don't have time.
Well, how about setting some facts? The fact of the matter is that your family, dear Crabs, will not be here till after the festivities. And during the festivities, the nobles are planning on apparently revealing the truth of the matter. And that's probably when Civil War will happen. Turns out that we also did not completely prevent the summoning, even if we have February over here, because people are still under the impression that the king's not dead. But will be in a panic tomorrow once they do find out, which
Sure,
means
that
that we are only still helping the drow.
I need a minute to think over things. Could someone bring Birkin inside? I don't want him to just stay out here.
He's fine.
I drag him in. dump him rather unceremoniously on the floor.
No. Isn't gonna be talking to Cricket for a bit.
Alright, what are the rest of you doing? I'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
I'm just gonna head inside and try to get a little bit of rest because I'm like not sure what to do. We really don't have an exact plan, and I'm just well stressed out.
Borax? You? Laura?
Clora's going to ask the mini Charlotte, or to say to the mini Charlotte, I think Cricket may be able to give me a trip to my family, a quick trip to my family to pick up the microphone, but if that won't work, will you be able to make something in the meantime?
Oh, Charlotte, you already finished the megaphone.
Yeah, I did finish that.
Yeah,
The mini Charlotte, however, is not the current Charlotte anymore. That Charlotte went away. Mini Charlotte just looks confused at you.
Ah. Okay.
Borax?
She's
Do
gonna set the
you?
little. She's gonna set the little bunny down.
I'm getting in touch with Alex.
Alright, so you're doing that private roleplay that happened earlier, yes? That's what you mean by getting in touch, correct? You're getting in touch with Alex by doing that roleplay you did in private messages on Discord earlier in the week. Yes?
That
Because you didn't have a chance to do that before now. You guys have been talking the entire time.
I kind of figure figure the conversation is all happening in Ryu's head.
Eh.
You're not understanding. Okay, so what are you talking to Alex about?
Okay, Alex, we stopped the usurpers in the Elf City, but their king is dead. If we don't do something soon, then a civil war will break out. People will get hurt, and the Drow will still be able to capture the people as sacrifices to their god.
Okay, well, I kinda can't do that right now because Alex isn't here. So you're gonna have to wait for him to respond. He's probably busy saving the world at the moment. Regardless, Horax, what are you doing?
Korax is also going to go to bed because, frankly, she doesn't have any good ideas at this point either.
Alright, then that just leaves Cicada.
Okay.
Actually, really quick. Charlotte, what are you doing in the city?
Heading back to the house.
Alright, you head back to the house and your resident vampire welcomes you back and she nuzzles you, makes jokes about eating you, and that sort of thing. Alright, now Cicada.
Okay. So, Cricket.
Yes?
About this stone. This magic stone that's currently in the tower where the dragon egg is being held.
Yes?
How much do we know about it?
It makes barriers.
Okay, but can it make barriers on the ground? Like, completely cut off, say, a big teleportation spell?
Yes?
The, theoretically, if I were to grab this stone and use my magic or somebody else's magic or combined force of magic, would I be able to stop the teleportation spell?
Yes.
Okay. Which only leaves trying to get my hands on it.
Also, Clara,
Mm-hmm.
a microphone hits you in the head.
Hooray! Clara mentally relays information to Charlotte about it. And Clara replies to Cricket, "Tell my dad thank you."
Yes.
With that, she's gonna go to sleep and then relay all of this in the morning.
All right. So, the morning comes, and with it, Charlotte, you finish the thing. You make a few sizes, and one of them that you've just named the Big Bang.
Very apt.
There's also
Wait, did
one
Charlotte
that's
go to bed?
called.
Go to bed?
There's also one that's called the Dragon, and there's a few unique ones that you've made. Everyone else, you wake up and Rango has made breakfast.
I have the microphone.
Okay. So,
Cricket delivered.
since everybody is probably at the table here, Cicada would like to speak up.
Also, did you guys leave Vivre outside all night?
Probably would have dragged him in eventually.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a plan.
What a coincidence. I was just just got done talking. I I spoke with Alex last night, and he came up with a plan as well.
Well, my plan involves getting that abjuration stone as soon as possible.
Is it the one where we protect the city from teleportation and such?
Yes. That is exactly it, which is why we need the stone to stop them in their tracks, so to speak.
Well, I'm there's it's a long shot, but there maybe just be a way to settle things down in the Elf City before a full-blown civil war can break out.
Okay, I have no plans for the whole civil war and politics thing. I just need the stone.
That's I understand that, but I'm saying Alex and I worked out a plan to stop the civil war.
Okay. I will trust you on that. But
And
I
that
still
plan
need
and that plan is Korax's Moonblade.
That would work.
Eh?
That's the sword that chooses people, isn't it?
And
That's
why?
That's proof that you are a replacement, wouldn't it?
That's not quite how it works.
But
Nothing.
It proves that I have been deemed worthy in some non-specific way.
that'll have to count for something, won't it?
And what exactly will that do to change the minds of those in the city?
the s- the Moonblade is Blade is revered as a symbol of worthiness among the High Elven people, right?
Yes, that doesn't make. Yes, that doesn't make. That's that. That doesn't mean they'll put a crown on my head or anything.
It, maybe not everyone, but if you can get enough people on our side, then then you'll be able to get things in under control before a civil war can break out.
So you basically wish to nominate dear Corax as one of the few for the throne.
Or at least temporarily for the throne.
He wants to use Corax to keep the crowd from panicking.
Jezebel kind of shrugged and she
Right.
goes, "What say we can't do both? The stone and crowd
I'm s-
control."
That's just it. If we stop the civil war, it'll be much easier, be much easier to secure the stone.
We still should do both at the same time, though, dear. There will still be panic, and will still be a lot of people in the middle of the center.
The only person that needs to be there to rally the crowd will be Korax. The rest of us can still while he's doing that, the rest of us can locate the stone.
She and
That's
She
and-
I've never I never got used to that.
whatever. Okay, rallying the crowd was part of my original plan, I admit.
well, that's what I'm suggesting too, dear. You really don't need me to rally a crowd. I only made things worse, she says with a cheeky grin. I'd rather go and try to secure the stone, and she pulls Cicada into a hug with my dear Cicada.
Great. Oh, but it's still fragile.
Look, I'm not expecting this to work 100%. But at the very least, I expect it to buy us some time.
And we can definitely trust you on that. We are still grabbing the stone as soon as possible. Because we need it.
Have this.
Yes, we will still secure the stone.
It will only work on 5 people though.
Nevertheless, I think we have a plan in motion.
How good are the nobles on wisdom saves?
Or else.
You don't know that.
Still, Jezebel kind of holds her hands up and she goes, "We at least have some backup plans on the count that maybe, for some reason, Corax cannot sway the crowd. We can also still go with Charlotte and Clara's plan. So hopefully, maybe pacify them just to buy us enough time."
That
We
just leaves
just,
the one.
because I agree with what Charlotte said. We need to at least maybe control the panic as best as possible. Because there
Yeah.
already is tension happening. Whether these nobles, which Jezebel kind of says the names of the ones that are apparently trying to take the throne, if they're willing to listen and maybe not immediately start a fight, we may just maybe be able to convince them. If not, then like I said, we can at least try and pacify them just long enough for either us to get the stone or for your family to get to the city, one or the other.
So, I think we got a solid plan. That just leaves one thing. How are we gonna get the stone? I don't think Fevre has told us how the stone becomes accessible once the dragon hatches.
think it was just the barrier goes down.
We don't know exactly where the stone is in that pillar.
I thought we were told at one point, but it was like over a month ago now.
I'm sure we will figure it out as soon as that dragon hatches.
So, are you guys ready to head to the festival then?
Yeah.
We're doing it now?
Mhm.
I mean, it is the next day. The festival has already started.
That's right. How long is it going to be, though? Because we only have like 30 minutes, so it's going to be a while.
Well, you'll see. Don't worry.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
So
Clara goes
I'm
outside
gonna-
and tests the mic.
Yeah.
I'm
Sorry.
gonna put my foot up
Korax
to the-
is gonna march. Is gonna sort of frog march Favre outside.
Of course.
Did you tie his legs
I'm
up?
gonna.
Legs are not tied, actually.
Okay. Charlotte?
I'm gonna have the mini party set up the fireworks outside the city, like near outside the city. And
Alright.
Mark's Charlie would have placed.
You find a very good place for it. It's sort of a hill that's gonna be right behind where the dragon egg is. It's a decent
Yeah.
distance away.
As long as it's not gonna like actually attack the dragon egg. by
Yeah,
accident.
yeah.
Charlie would count for that.
It's outside the city, but it's in view of the dragon egg. The fireworks should appear
Okay.
behind the dragon egg.
Okay, that's it.
With that said, you all enter the city, and at first it seems completely empty. But then you all hear the echoes of a massive crowd, and you follow the streamers and the lights, and you find the entire city crowded around stalls and various other festivities, and enjoying the Dragon Egg Festival.
Is
They
there like a
also-
stage? Is there like a big?
I'm not
platform
done. I'm not
underneath the hill?
done. Wait a second, please.
Okay.
You all, if you decide to explore the city, do notice that there's a ton of guards around the royal palace and the hole that opened up. And there's a couple of guards mostly out to just observe the townsfolk, make sure no one's causing any arguments. But you do, those of you who get closer to the egg, notice a familiar figure standing
heckin'
behind the line of guards that are blocking people from getting near the egg. Too close to the egg, I
Tabaxi.
should say.
Right. I forgot about the Tabasco.
What's he doing here?
Him
Maybe
again?
Just
do some sending with him, right?
Also, you
Do
all
some
did get a
No.
long rest.
information.
You all did get a long rest, so you can restore all your HP
Yeah.
and stuff. Just reminding everyone.
Did
Now,
Charlie get a long rest?
yes, you got a long rest. Now, Corax, you had something you wanted to say. You may continue.
And Flora, I'm going to need that megaphone back.
It's okay. I have a microphone.
Right.
She hands the megaphone to you.
real quickly, Jezebel holds up a hand and she goes, "How about we listen to what he has to say first?
Yeah.
If it seems things start to get tense, you can speak up. Of course, they're correct. But as much as I don't trust this Tabasco, he technically didn't pose as much of a threat as what we expected in the castle. In fact, he actually did help us. So if you can just humor me for a bit, let's just hear what he has to say."
Very well.
Hey, Clara,
Just
can you do
gonna-
me a small? Can you do me a small favor?
How's that?
You have a polymorph, right?
Yes, I do. Did you want to get somewhere?
Just turn me into a regular old bird.
Boom, you're a bird.
Okay. And I'm gonna fly over near the dragon egg on top of the rooftops.
As you're flying up there, you notice the tabaxi glance up and follow your flight.
Probably should have just stayed with the cicada, but okay. We're just gonna walk forward, giving Cicada a bit of a worried glance, and then tries to blend in with the crowd to kind of like get as close as possible to listen in.
So, Cicada, what do you do?
And just kind of try and get to near as much as the tower as possible, but
You're
not
able-
just flying below it.
You fly around it and you notice the egg is more or less basically cracked open. There's just the tiniest bit that the hatchling is still struggling with, and the barrier that's around the egg is starting to wobble and shake. Like it's about to go down.
Okay, I'm just gonna watch.
So, what it Charlotte? Do you prepare the fireworks?
I would communicate with my little guys to prepare once the egg is hatched fully started.
So you're going to fire them off when the barrier goes completely down?
Maybe before, but like during, like she's gonna try and guess the duration. If that makes sense.
Alright. So, is there anything you guys do before the egg officially hatches?
Noticed.
Ryu is going to cast sending towards the tabaxi.
Alright, well, I'll get to that in
Eight.
just a second. Charlotte, what did you say?
I was gonna cast haste on myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I was gonna activate my flying. Watch cicada back.
You cut out a bit there. Could you repeat that?
I said I was gonna click on my flying boots, use haste, and watch cicada into back.
So you're
I'm gonna
hasted,
do.
but you're staying in place.
Right now, yes.
Okay. Rhea, go ahead.
All right. I can see you, you know. You were there in the throne room yesterday. And now you're here. Who are you and why?
His gaze goes away from where Cicada is, and he glances through the crowd directly to where you are. Then he responds to you and just says, I'm just here for the dragon. That silly stone you can have all to yourselves.
Ryu quickly sends another sending. Wait, you know why we're here? How?
You get no response.
Damn it.
The crowd begins to rise up and get more and more excited as the tabaxi holds up a hand and begins to count down from 5. The entire crowd joins in, and once they're fully counting down, he casts a spell on himself and flies up towards where the egg is. The crowd counts down. 5, 4, 3, 2. The barrier dissipates as fireworks explode out from behind. One snakes up, sailing up before exploding into a dragon. The crowd goes wild with excitement as the egg shatters and goes in all directions. And the bronze, the The bronze dragon. Oh, was it bronze or was it gold?
Bronze.
Yeah, I thought it
remember
was
it was
bronze. The bronze dragon. The tiny baby hatchling flares its wings open, and you all watch as the tabaxi gently lifts the dragon up by its waist and turns it to show it to the crowd. The crowd cheers and everyone is excited. Then he holds the tiny baby hatchling in his hands, and their wings open up and they flap into the air and begin to fly away. The tabaxi watches them go, and then he reaches into the nest, fishes around for a bit, and pulls out a stone.
That's my cue. God damn it.
He looks to the bird that's flying around, and you wanted to drop the spell, right?
Yeah, I wanted Clara to drop the enchantment.
So the enchantment drops, and
And
you
then I go
regain.
invisible
Okay.
and fly up there.
His gaze goes around for a bit, as if looking for something.
Hey,
His gaze focuses on you, and then he
Pass
reaches out into the air, grabs your shoulder. He fumbles around a bit before he finds your arm. Then he grabs your shoulder, then your arm, and places the stone in your hand. And then he gently floats back down to the crowd.
thank you.
The
And then I
crowd,
fly away with the stone.
the crowd cheers, the guards relax a bit, and the festival begins to and the festival continues. As for the tabaxi, he just casually walks into the crowd.
I'm following him.
Korax is making her way through the crowd, being ready to rush here at the first opportunity.
The tabaxi exits the crowd, and they begin to make their way for the exit.
I'm following him.
Alright. So, Korax, I'm going to leave your thing right for the very end because I'm going to use that as the final bit, alright? It's going to be the cliffhanger.
That's fine. That's fine by me.
So, as you all follow, the tabaxi pauses and turns to look at you all.
Just what kind of nerves are she goes, Dragon fanatic, are we?
He simply smiles and says, "You could say that."
Who are you?
I'm no one important, just a retired adventurer.
You at least still have a name, don't you?
Yes, but if I told you the name, then you'd know what my name is.
Isn't that the point?
He just
Right.
chuckles at you.
That is how names work, sadly.
Why were you helping them before when we stormed the castle? Why
Oh.
didn't you say anything to the crowd?
I wasn't helping them. I just happened to be in the area when they did the little coup, and happened to be in the area when you did your little coup. I am a
Oh.
neutral party in this.
You were there when they murdered the king?
I mean, let's just delve in politics, really.
Politics.
What?
You'll
What?
understand
Well,
when you're
this-
old. You'll understand when you're older.
That
Jezebel
is how that
glances back
works,
up to
Mom.
where. Sorry.
It's okay, go ahead.
Now go ahead, Charlotte.
That is how politics work in the long run for you.
He,
Double-edged sword it is. Keeps it safety, yet it's also against you. It's your back.
so, after Charlotte finishes speaking, he puts his hands to his chin and he peers closely at you for a moment. Ryu, you're Ryu, right?
How do you know my name?
Oh, that's not important.
It
Well,
sounds pretty damn important to me.
well, Tata, I need to go follow that hatchling and make sure it makes its home to its parent. He begins to walk away.
Eh.
Isabel doesn't quite
But-
see him as threatening, so she just kind of remains quiet.
Hold on, I still haven't gotten your name.
Yes, there's a reason for that.
There's no point in asking, dear. He's not going to tell you.
Damn it!
Besides, she says with a shrug, if he wanted to do something to you, he would have done it. Right now, his attention is on the dragon. Reminds me of the way I usually work. She kind of mumbles, looking kind of thoughtful.
You see him pause for a moment and he puts a hand to his ear and then he goes, Yes, I'm going. It'll be fine. It was only 5 minutes. Then he lowers his hand and he goes, I swear. When my daughter is the one scolding me for being late. And then he casts fly. Well, he still had fly active. He was just walking because he felt like walking. So he floats into the air and he moves to fly after the dragon.
Seems a story that doesn't involve me or my conclusion. Well, I gotta tell.
With that done,
Uh,
is there anything
I didn't-
anyone would like to do before I move to Korax?
Kata is
How-
just currently flying back to the house for safety reasons before lowering the invisibility and inspecting the stone. That can be saved for next time.
Yes. Anyone else have anything they do beforehand?
Ryu's looking frustrated. Ryu's frustratingly puzzled as they head back. She's just muttering, "He knew my name. How? I've never met him before. I've never spoke. I was the first time I've even seen him, let alone spoken to him. So how did he know my name?"
Calm down, dear, she says with a sigh. Even if he knew your name, the fact of the matter, he did not attack you, which means he has no ill intent towards you at the moment. Whether that changes later, we can deal with it another time. As I said, his focus is the dragon. I do not believe it will harm the dragon, but as I also mentioned before, it reminds me of the way I work. For now, focus on the task at hand.
All right, fine. We have the stone. Now let's hope we can save the city. Now let's see. Hope we can save this. We can save the city.
Well, you all are very keen on trying, even though I did warn that we probably shouldn't. So, might as well stick around and see how this ends.
And with that,
Jesus said,
go on.
easy to abandon a city whenever you don't belong. That's why we
Of course, but unfortunately, dear Ryu here and dear Korax, this is their city, and they're very keen on saving it.
Also, we can't let the drow just sacrifice the entire. Actually, no, like Clara can't talk. She's performing. Never mind.
Okay. I'm just
So, by the way, Charlotte, everyone is fangirling over the fireworks. They're like, I can't believe, what were those? That were beautiful. Like, you just hear constant showering of praise.
a small tear goes down her cheek.
None of that? Correct.
Hey. One moment, I need to finish typing something out.
Yes? Correct?
And Korax is gonna take a deep breath and then walk to the and then walk out to the center, casting as she goes. She's going to cast Enhance Ability Eagle's Splendor on herself to give her advantage on all charisma checks.
Okay.
And then she's and then she's going to pull out the megaphone and call, May I have all your attention?
The guards briefly turn and look to you, and a few move to apprehend you and stop you talking. But the commander sees you and he sort of you recognize this guy right here. The big burly guy from the capital. You know, the champion.
Right.
And he waves to them, and the guards all stand down, but they look a bit wary.
Have I got the attention of the crowd?
Oh, yeah.
Korax draws Galatine and holds it over her head. I am Korax Elisei. Some of you may have heard my family's name lately, and I'm afraid I have bad news for you all. You may have noticed that the king and his family have not shown up at these festivities. This is because they have been murdered. Fevre Nolina, as well as several conspirators of his, have confessed to the crime, and evidence against them has been gathered. I will not lie to you. The situation is dire. The royal family is dead at a time when the Drow are moving against us, but you must not panic. Chaos in the city is what the enemy wants. It is what the traitors, such as Fevre, who are working with them, want. The guards who left the city are returning to reinforce those already maintaining order. She just motions to these other guards around here. Leadership in this city will have to be sorted out in the days to come, but now is not the time for violence or anarchy. I ask that you go about your daily lives as best you can and allow the guards to do their jobs. And with that, she's gonna hold Lil Core up to the megaphone and play Fevre's confession for all to hear.
Then that is where we will end this episode.
Wait. Yeah, and remember, I had Eagle Splendor active.
Mm-hmm.
So
remind me next week.
Extra
because I will
charisma.
forget. Because I will forget. Regardless.
Yeah.
I guess that you probably have bardic
Thank you
inspiration
all.
as well.
Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye!
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, so if I seemed a little bit